It's the 2018 sewing review, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram and you're watching Akram's Ideas, bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. As the end of the year quickly approaches, it's time to take a look back at all the sewing made. To see more episodes like this, be sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified of new videos. Of 2018, and this has been an incredibly productive year, and I've had some really fun projects to talk about with you guys. So let's start off by talking about my autumn makes, which I have yet to have actually shared with you guys, simply because it's been so busy December, and autumn did not go as planned as far as what I said I was going to make and what I actually made. So let's take a look at what I made for autumn first. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was the pumpkin dress and cardi from Coco Wallhaw Crafts. Now, the pumpkin dress I actually made at the end of August, early September, which I was a pattern tester for Anna from Coco Wallhaw Crafts for the pumpkin dress. And while it was really a very late summer make, I'm considering it an autumn make because I didn't get to share it with you guys until autumn, and I actually made it as an autumn dress. And so that is one of my favorite autumn makes. It's a really comfy dress, really cozy. It came out exactly how I envisioned it with the pumpkin colors and everything. And after making the pumpkin dress, I turned around and I ended up making the pumpkin cardi because the pattern has two options. You can make it in a dress form or you could make it in a cardigan form. So I made the pumpkin cardi for the Cozy Cardi Challenge, and I'm very happy with that. I did a few little hacks to the pattern where I cropped the lengths so it was a little bit of a shorter cardigan, and I also added a ruffle around the end of the cardigan instead of just a standard band or anything. So I think it looks really lovely. I'm very happy with that, and it's one of the first sewing challenges in a long time that I actually finished way before the deadline, so I was really happy with how those turned out. One of my other autumn makes, which I am super happy with, is my birthday dress, which I made specifically for a pinup photo shoot that I did with the lovely Cherry Dollface and Liz from Pinups by Liz. I used the Sew Over It vintage shirt dress pattern, and I did a few little hacks to it, including adding piping to it, and I actually swapped out the sleeves for the sleeves of the Carolyn pajamas, which again, you can get more inside details about that dress in the video on it. Besides the birthday dress, there's a few other items that I made for autumn, including the lovely Freya top, which is from the book Stretch. Now, I actually made the first Freya top to go with the pumpkin dress that I made. I had some lovely ivory ribbed knit in my stash, and I ended up making the Freya top. Now, my first version did not go according to plan. According to the measurements and everything, I cut, was it a size 7 or a size 6? But regardless, it did not fit because I did not really check the stretch of the ivory white fabric. So I ended up making an 8, which is the largest size, for that fabric. It just did not have enough stretch. The size 8 actually worked perfectly. It fit well. The only problem is there's still not a whole lot of stretch around the neck, so getting the turtleneck on my head is a very difficult in that particular top. I did do the hack to do a full-on roll neck instead of just the faux roll neck, And I really like that. I like the traditional turtleneck with the fold over collar. But needless to say, it worked out. It worked for the pumpkin dress and the pairing, and I was really, really happy with it. But I really wanted to try the Freya top again because I liked the cut of it. I like how it came in. It was kind of slim fitting. So I ended up finding a sort of cinnamony pumpkin jersey in my stash, which this time I did check the stretch and made sure it had 20% stretch. So I did cut, I can't remember now, it was either the 6 or the 7. I want to say it may have even been the 6 that I cut out of that pattern. And I made it in the cinnamon colored fabric, and that one is amazing. It's like my favorite top. The fabric is super soft and cozy. It worked out really well. The stretch, I have no real problems with the stretch. I would say the neck is a little not as stretchy as it really should be, but still it goes over my head fairly well, and I'm really happy with that top. In my autumn sewing plans, I'd mentioned that I was making some wrap skirts, and one of the reasons I was making a wrap skirt is that in my stash I had purchased some fabric that what I thought was fabric, but when I brought it home it turned out to be a half-finished wrap skirt. Like, it was already put together, it just needed the binding around the edges and the ties for the waistband. So I finished it off. It really didn't take very long to finish off the edges with bias tape, and I actually used bias tape for the waist ties as well. So I didn't even really put a waistband on it. I just put bias tape all the way around the edges, and then some really long strips of bias tape around the top, sewed it all down so that it wouldn't be flapping or anything. And that top looks amazing with the Freya top, the cinnamon colored Freya top, because of the navy color in the wrap skirt, and then all those beautiful goldeny yellow floral tones in the fabric, which is what drew me to the fabric anyways. And it was kind of neat coming across a half-finished project, and for the fact that it actually fit well. It was the perfect autumn outfit, and I'm disappointed that I didn't make it earlier on in autumn. I made it near the mid-November, and so I didn't get as much wear as I wanted out of it, but I'm definitely going to be wearing that all autumn long next autumn because the colors and everything work so well together, and I just love that pairing. Now, since I had that fabric that had been a wrap skirt, I thought to myself when making my autumn plans that I would make a few more wrap skirts. And I had in my pattern stash for a long while now McCall's 7129, which is a reversible wrap skirt pattern. And I was going to kind of use that as a guide for finishing up the wrap skirt that I'd come across, but I didn't even bother. I just finished the other one with bias tape. Now, the McCall's 7129, I will say, is fairly simple. It goes together relatively quickly. It also finishes the outer seams with bias tape, so that came together fairly quickly. It does have a waistband with these massive, massive waist ties that go around you a couple of times and tie. I actually really like that because you feel like the skirt's not going to fall off of you. You don't have to worry that it's going to unravel and suddenly you won't have a skirt on, because it ties several times around. The construction of that skirt went really well. I used some black floral fabric for one side of the skirt and a black and white gingham for the other side of the skirt. Both fabrics were just a kind of lightweight cotton, so paired together they become opaque. You can't see on the other side, so it makes it very convenient. I had a lot of the black floral left over that I made the bias tape for finishing out the edges with that, and I also made the waistband, and then I had some long strips of the gingham left that I used for the waist ties. So I kind of mix and match so that one side you have the floral skirt with this giant gingham waist tie, and then on the flip side you have the gingham skirt with the floral waistband and floral bias tape all the way around it. So I think it gives it some interesting details. My Jenny overalls, which I was so excited about, and I cut out, I was just gung-ho about it. they did not get done. And it goes back to that I want to take my time, I want to make these right. And I spent some time, I spent like a whole day working on them, and I got the bib put together, I got the back pockets, but I haven't done the assembly part yet. Plus, I was waiting on overall hardware so that I had the actual buckles and everything. So I'd gotten those in, but I just haven't really gotten myself down to spend some actual time making those because I want to do them right. But I do have 2 pairs cut out, and I actually, before I even got to cutting out the overalls themselves, I actually made the Jenny shorts so that I could test fit as a muslin, just to make sure I was cutting out the right size. Because if you're not familiar with the closet case pattern, the Jenny overalls, which if you're not, where have you been? Everybody's been making them on Instagram. But it comes with variations. So you could make the straight on overalls, you could make the pants version, or you could make the shorts version. So I used the shorts version as a tester, and the shorts version fits really nice. I got everything done on that except for the waistband, because I really just wanted to get the fit, and then I wanted to jump into the overalls, but I really need to get the waistband on because those are pretty much done. If I get the waistband on and the hem, I've got myself some Jenny shorts that I could be wearing, but just haven't gotten to it. So those are some UFOs left for 2019. Some other UFOs that I didn't get to was, of course, my Vogue 1083. This has been one of those items that I just cannot get myself to make. I've been, like I said, it's been in my UFO pile since 2015. That's how long this coat has been cut out and sitting around. And again, it goes back that I just want to spend a massive amount of time on it and do a really, really good job. And I just feel like I haven't had that time set aside to make that coat. And once again, I didn't have time to make that coat. So I'm hoping that I will get some time to make it, maybe in January, but I want to do a good job on it. So that one is now in my UFO pile. So now let's take a step back and look at the whole of 2018 and my favorite patterns of 2018. Starting off with the So Over It vintage shirt dress. Now I know I'm late to the party when it comes to this pattern. The first time I made it was at the end of 2017. I actually made a red version for the Little Red Dress Project in 2017, and I fell absolutely in love with the vintage shirt dress. So much so that it was one of the first dresses that I made for 2018. I made it as part of the Smiley Challenge, which was organized by Athena Kaku, and the challenge was an acronym for Sewing Makes You Love Yourself, and you were supposed to actually make something that you felt beautiful in, and I had fallen in love with the vintage shirt dress so much I ended up making another one in a lovely blue floral print. I really had wanted to make more of these dresses, but never actually got around to it until it came to my birthday dress, when I knew without a doubt I'd be making another vintage shirt dress, this time in the lovely green polka dot fabric that I had planned out from earlier on this year. That would be my birthday dress. So the vintage shirt dress is still one of my favorite patterns, and I plan to make more vintage shirt dresses. I love shirt dresses in general, so I don't want to like hold myself to just one shirt dress pattern, despite the fact that that one fits so well and looks so nice. I want to try to branch out and make different shirt dresses, which comes to my, probably my top pattern for 2018, just in the amount of versions that I made of the pattern and the amount of wear that I got out of the pattern, and that is the Cocowaha Crafts honeycomb dress and top. I made 2 dress versions of this pattern and 2 top versions, and I just can't say enough how much I loved them all. When I first got the pattern, I was eager to make it. I'd seen some versions out there, and I knew I would enjoy the dress. And I made the dress version, and then I thought, you know what, I have some sort of navy dotted Swiss that I had left over from a skirt pattern that I had made, and I thought maybe I could make a top out of it. So I used it for the honeycomb top, and I will have to say that I almost think I got more wear out of the top than I did the dresses, because I was wearing it all summer long with jeans. It was just a great top to put on while you're running around running errands and still kind of look dressy, but not too overly dressy, that I enjoyed it so much, I turned around and made another top early autumn in a lovely dusty pink cotton with some little polka dots on it. I've worn the dresses and the tops so often this year that I am already thinking about more honeycomb tops and dresses in my wardrobe. It's a super quick and easy pattern. It does have princess seams and a back yoke, and despite all the pieces, when I first cut it out, I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take forever. But it actually sews together so quick and fast. And of course, like all Coco Waha Craft patterns, Anna has a sew along video on her YouTube channel, which makes constructing some of the trickier bits like the burritoing of the back yoke and everything really easy to understand. And again, that's got to be my #1 favorite pattern of the year. An honorable mention pattern would be the Megan dress from Tilly's book, A Love at First Stitch, which of course is a version that I'm wearing here of the Megan dress. And I've made 4 versions of this dress now. Again, I'm kind of late to the party when it comes to the Megan dress. The book has been out for a couple of years now. It's one of the first sewing books that I actually purchased. I just never went through the book in its entirety and made every single garment in it. And this year, that was one of my goals. And so the Megan dress became a quick favorite for me. So I'm really surprised that I hadn't made it before, and I'm really surprised how much I liked it, because it's more of a slimmer looking dress. It's not of a flare skirt, it's more of a straight skirt, but it just works out so well, and I've gotten a lot of wear out of my Megan dresses. But I won't say that they're quite as fun as the honeycomb dress, because I think the honeycomb dress and top are just a little bit more fun outfits. But those are my fave patterns of 2018. Next up on my list are my most funnest makes of 2018. Basically the projects that I worked on that I had the most fun doing. #1 will have to be my day and night dress challenge project, which of course, if you hadn't seen the video before, I do encourage you to go check out my video on my day and night dress, because it was just so much fun. The whole project was so much fun. This was a challenge hosted by Elizabeth from Elizabeth Made This, and the challenge was to make a day dress that you could go run around with a friend to get coffee with, and a night dress that you could go to a cocktail party in. And I kind of took it sort of a whole different direction by making a modern version of the day and night Barbie suit dress. Again, I had a lot of fun with this. I had so much fun from making the video, doing the whole skit. Again, I encourage you to go see the video. And then just making the dress. It went together fairly well. It's a very well made dress. And I actually made the blazer as well, so that was an undertaking. I thought it was going to be very difficult, but it turned out to be a fairly quick make and pretty easy to put together. So my only regret, I guess, now is that that suit is actually slightly too big for me to wear at the moment, since I've lost weight since then. I made that back in early February, which feels like a whole year ago, and technically in 2 days it will be like a year ago. So it was a while ago, but that was one of my most fun makes. of 2018. My second most fun make of 2018 is what I'm wearing, which is where I'm camouflaged in my sofa here. This is my little gold dress that I made for the So Frosting challenge. And like I said in my So Frosting video, I did not anticipate joining in that challenge. I always feel like I make too many frilly dresses to begin with. I shouldn't be making more little frosting dresses, but I love just the idea behind it and making something out of the box and doing something different. And I had an idea that popped into my head like just days before the deadline of that challenge. And so everything got tossed to the wayside. And I took about 24 hours to make this So Frosting dress. I made it using the Megan dress pattern. So I'd already made a few versions. I knew the dress fits. I knew that it would work really, really well. And of course I made it out of the scrap fabric from my sofa slipcover. And again, I'm completely camouflaged since I have my little throw pillow, which is what I use, fabric is what I used for the top of the dress. But I had a lot of fun with this. I love this dress so much. I know it's totally out there and like, where am I gonna wear this kind of gold dress to? But I love the fact that it's very 60s, it's very holiday, it's very out there. So much so that I had a little bit more fabric left over from both the gold and the red, and then I'm making a matching little suit jacket to go with it. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully that'll be getting done in the next few weeks and you'll get to see the whole outfit put together. But again, this is one of those things that I didn't plan, but I'm super glad that I participated in and had a lot of fun making. The last item on my 2018 sewing review that I want to talk about is my proudest make. Now, Anna from Coco Hall Crafts has been promoting the hashtag my proudest make, which is just to share with everybody what are you most proud of making in 2018. And I've had a lot of fun making a lot of things, but I will have to say my proudest make of 2018 is this sofa slipcover. And this was a labor of love because I basically had to stick paper around the pieces and just kind of measure and put it all together and figure it out. It took a while. It took a full day and a half to put this slipcover together. And I know a day and a half doesn't really sound like a lot, but it was a trying time just to try to get it together. But I think it's one of my proudest makes because it's the make that I use every single day. I come home and I sit on the gold couch that I made. I put this together and I think it's adorable. Of course, I've even made the throw pillows here. So I made this throw pillow and I made this green one as well. They both have sort of a gold holly leaves on both of those. And I had some regular throw pillows that we already had from different parts of the house. And this sofa, it was originally sort of a white linen-y or off-white linen-y sofa, just an average sofa. And for our antique style living room, we wanted something a little bit more vintagey. So this particular fabric is actually a slipcover fabric. It is what they call a throw cover for a sofa. So it comes a really long piece of fabric that you're supposed to just throw over the sofa. And I knew from the beginning that wasn't going to work because you're constantly trying to pull the throw back up, trying to get it back on there. So Walmart was having a clearance and they had these gold brocade throws for $7, so about 4 packs of them. And it took 2.5 throws to make this slipcover. Granted, I had some gold bed sheets that were no longer good. There was a hole on one side of it. So I'll just scoot up here. So the bottom here, if you can see, is actually the gold bed sheet. That this is the inner side, and this is typical if you've ever looked at slipcovers. The side that the seat cushions are going to be on doesn't actually have the decorative fabric. It usually has some sort of thinner fabric. So for here, I used the bed sheets, and then I sewed on the brocade throw all the way around it. I made basically envelope covers for the pillows to go into so that they could be removable if I needed it to be washed or anything. I've been very gentle with this slipcover, trying to make sure that we don't get any spills or anything on it, because I love it so much. And I love how the arms and everything fit so well. It came together so well. And I'm probably never going to do a slipcover again because it was trying, but I'm thoroughly ecstatic, and I love coming home and going every day like, I have a gold brocade couch in my living room, and I love it. So this is my proudest make of 2018. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Akram's Ideas. I'd love to hear in the comments below what some of your favorite makes of 2018 have been. Thanks for watching!
Okay. Freya top from Tilly Whalen's book, Now that we have this episode of Akram's Ideas, I'm sharing with you my blah 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 blah. Let's do that again.